Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another Fairy Tail video talking about Fairy Tail 2, the brand new Fairy Tail game. I'm just going to go over my thoughts about the game and just very light spoilers. Pretty much anything I do kind of spoil, though it would be like the first 30 minutes of the game. Just kind of to talk about the differences between the game and the actual show and manga itself. So jumping straight in, where the game starts is pretty darn abrupt if you're not familiar with the Fairy Tail story, because you literally pick up with Makarov interacting with Zareth, which is a little bit into the Alvarez arc. It's not the very beginning, but you skip completely over like the island where they meet Brandish at. Or even Mest and them rebuilding the Fairy Tail Guild itself. So if you weren't familiar with the story of Fairy Tail in itself, it's a very random place to start. And speaking of Mest, there is quite a bit of characters that are just not here. And Mest is an example of that, because Mest is the person that saves Makarov in that opening scene of the game. He is not in the game at all for that, so Makarov is just saved, and you would have no idea how he got saved. Yes, it does say it in text, but at least in the manga and anime, they show Mest saving Makarov. So scenes like that, if you're not familiar with it, you are going to be confused as to like what happened with certain characters. And as we're kind of talking about characters missing, a lot of the guild is not animated. So like, for example, like the Thunder Legion and like the opening battle, they have a pretty decent section in that, along with Olzak and Biska. They're kind of a major reason as to why they were able to defeat some of the first Spriggan 12. And like the opening scene with the guild kind of rallying and kind of making their battle plan about how to deal with Alvarez and the Spriggan 12 is feeling honestly pretty darn empty, because you have the guild hall so dang empty because there's not, everyone there. They didn't bother to animate everyone. So it just kind of feels like you're this very small group of people. Along with kind of feeling empty, Magnolia itself, when you're exploring it, feels so dang empty. Now, I get the story reason behind that is because you had the whole town evacuate because they think that Alvarez and Spriggans are going to be attacking. But from a gameplay standpoint, oh my goodness, the town of Magnolia feels so dang empty, and it just feels like nothing is there. But the town itself looks great. I think Magnolia looks amazing, and it's just super fun for a Fairy Tail fan perspective to walk around Magnolia and just see the town itself, because it's a very pretty town. But the first game also had that to where you could walk around Magnolia, but this game also has it. And I think a lot of the textures and stuff on characters look better in this game, because like characters like Lucy, her clothing has texture on it, and Natsu, pretty much everyone has texture on their clothing now. And kind of going back to story sections, a lot of sections are just straight up removed, just so that they could probably get to the next big set piece. I mean, littler moments between characters are just straight up gone at certain points here, and you don't get maybe certain little character moments that happened between battles, or even showing what more side characters were doing during battles. Now, going into combat, it is kind of the same, but also different at the same time. So the previous game had a turn-based system. You picked your attacks, kind of similar to like Pokemon or Final Fantasy. This game is more of a real-time system, but you still do pick your attacks, but you don't have it be turn-based. You just straight up can switch between all your characters. And I actually really like that feature to where you pick 3 people that you're fighting with immediately, but you can switch between all of your characters at any point in time that you would like. When you're stationary and you're picking spells and you're hitting the opponent, I think still I would love to be able to run around. You get so much freedom with it, except for the ability to just straight up move your character. And there's so many times I just am trying to move my character and then they just stand in place, and then you're just doing their attacks. I would love the ability to actually have some motion because they're so darn close to it. And the attacks themselves are pretty darn gorgeous looking. They are very, very flashy, and I think they do a very good job to showcase each character's strengths and how big some of those attacks are. And you have support magics, unison raids, and the extreme magics, and they're very cool. Some have unique animations, some give you additional benefits and perks and whatnot. They are most of the time unskippable. So after you've seen it like 20 times, that can be a bit annoying, but some of them are pretty darn cool because they can get unique interactions between certain characters if you meet certain requirements and whatnot. And kind of a bummer that certain characters are just relegated to support and you can't get them as a full-on real playable character. And once again, this game still has no English dub, which is kind of surprising to me because Fairy Tail, I would say, honestly, for English dub-wise, is pretty darn respected. And I think it's one of the more well-regarded ones, and especially for the popularity of the series, I'm kind of shocked that they still haven't done that. And for me, it's kind of a negative because I really like the English dub, and I really would like to experience this game with those voices. And this game still has some microtransactions. Now, it's nothing really pay to win, but the first game had a major problem with this to where they had a lot of costumes that were quite expensive and it just racked up really fast, and character outfits that were very specific to certain moments like the Grand Magic Games, they were locked behind a paywall. Now, this game does have some of that already, and that can be a bit worrying because I don't really love that, because I would love to be able to earn these outfits in the game, but some are still locked behind paywalls, and they do have DLC and stuff planned, so hopefully that doesn't get too out of hand. But I just thought I'd kind of make that as a note. Overall, I think this game does improve on the first, but it still has some drawbacks from its predecessor. For Fairy Tail fans themselves, this is awesome to walk around and explore this arc and have some very cool moments between characters. And I think if you are a fan of the show, you'll still find quite a bit of things to find enjoyment in. So what are your guys' thoughts on this game? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Draco, signing out.